there. And FakeGod has had such a hard time with Bwipo. I think that is probably the biggest, issue that they're trying to come up with a solution for here in Champ Select.
Interesting with the first pick Karma, it was banned last game, and that was what gave over the Caitlyn. So TL trying to pick the lesser of two evils. It's not like the Caitlyn was ineffective last game. It just didn't win the game. It still had a lot of lane priority. And Biofrost is a good Karma. I think we're probably seeing Ezreal combo with that when they come back to picking again. Yeah,
truly strong and flexible champion right now. Ezreal is one of the go-tos. Also can be played top lane, can be flexed around. We're talking about trying to solve some problems there up on the top lane issues as well. But definitely provides you pushing and poke on bottom side regardless of AD carry too.
Anytime that we've seen Karma come through in more popularity in the pick ban, it is usually because she has some of that flexibility in what she can offer to a team comp. So on the other way though, it's Thresh is the first lock-in.
All right, Jinx or Aphelios. What's it gonna be, Hansama? Not showing yet. I actually prefer the Jinx, especially if you're looking across at a Karma and trying to play off of Jinx reset team 5 power later. You were talking about how Dig has won these games, plus the range with rockets. And Dig have not really committed to close range. So when you do get the combination of poke of Ezreal Karma, which also, by the way, Karma provides so much because you can mantra Q around the ranged minion wave too and gain control there, which sometimes Ezreal has problems with.
And actually, as we'll see what third pick comes in for Dignitas, I wouldn't be too shocked if they pick mid on 3, because the Thresh pairs, you can do Thresh Varus, Thresh Jinx, Thresh Aphelios, Thresh Callista. There's a lot of stuff that can be matched, and especially if they see the Viktor, they could try and match it right now. Once again, though, I do really like the Viktor there for blue as a high-scaling mid laner.
You called it out as a pick, and that's exactly what Dig decided to do. Also making sure that Neo is on a very comfortable pick in the Ezreal.
So Orianna possibilities for Bjergsen. Zilean is also always a possibility. Both of them would be scaling then, but Viktor would have priority over the lane. And they say we can absorb bans.
Happy with the Varus.
Bjergsen is fine to absorb bans. This man, at his prime especially, had one of the widest champion pools. Yes, he is a bit rusty. He is coming back to mid lane, so might not be as deep as previously. But you've always got, Orianna and whatnot in the tank. So again, the Varus shows here for Hansama, fighting back some of the range wars. When you see an Ezreal, Karma, Viktor all locked in, you have two choices. Either make a really risky play and go all in on hard engaged picks to be able to crack them before they can poke you down, or try and get some range yourself.
Making it through the latter stage of our bans here, though. It's Olaf. Don't want that coming through if it's Team Liquid that has anything to say about it. And yeah, making sure to stick with that Varus play that worked well enough for them before, and then the Viego as well. Just a powerful pick over in
down to the wire
position.
Yeah.
So Orianna, nah, we ain't gonna get it on the opposite side.
You can see a lot of discussion going through for Team Liquid, or sorry, for Dignitas right now. It's a question of, do we throw bans towards Bwipo, which is hard because he's played everything already. He's thrown out Rengar, Aatrox, Gwen, Graves, all of these things they could potentially ban. Or do we just say, okay, we already have a Viktor. It's the simple match of what mid lane champions can we try and snipe. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Syndra ban, but as we know, Bjergsen can play a lot of things. Maybe it's a Zilean angle?
It's one of the exciting things about Bjergsen and Bwipo being on the same team, because they've both been so vocal about always wanting to service the team, just that history coming through with their pool. So how do you ever lock anybody down when it comes to champ selects?
It's also fun because we already saw like the Bwipo Rengar and the Bjergsen Zilean. Like, they also have these specialty champions that you associate with them. So when you're thinking of the bans, you're like, all right, do we just ban the regular control mages, Orianna, Syndra? Okay, but Bjergsen can reach deep.
With Varus against Ezreal Karma, I think Zoe is really potent in the mid game, but it's also Bjergsen, and he's hovering the Zilean.
I mean, you have a Viego on your team. I want to see this. I want you to do it. Go all in, boost up Santorin, give him the move speed and the revive to be able to go in and get these resets.
And he's already played the Zilean once, at least within lock-in so far. So it's not like it's a rusty pick, if it's ever going to be considered a rusty pick for Bjergsen himself. So making sure to be able to facilitate the team, offer that utility into the later portions of the game. And then meanwhile, Dignitas going through their...
Do we get the Lee Sin? Okay. Yep, the Lee Sin does show up. And we're going to get the blind from FakeGod.
Let's go. So FakeGod put on that blind duty. Gonna get that last pick locked in, but Lee Sin is a pick that River has piloted one so far within lock-in, but also plenty of highlight reels on him during his international play last year, and patience in being able to select those targets effectively in the fights.
I mean, it's one of the most sought after jungle picks right now. So the fact that it falls all the way to last round of picks for them with multiple jungle bans coming out targeting River, it says something in itself. And there is the blind from FakeGod to Jayce. So do we get to see, just gonna go with like a Malphite, rock answer for Bwipo? I doubt it. I think it's gonna be something more along the lines
of box. Now we see Pantheon. Maybe he builds a hull breaker. Who knows? Why not?
I kept thinking of that.
Why not? Because it's trash. Don't.
Why not?
Stuff that
Did
in
you
the
not hear the stats, Kobe?
He's 1-1 with the hull breaker so far.
I don't want to see it. It's a possibility, but I really
You
don't.
never know. He
Yeah.
seems to like the item.
Yeah.
He definitely knows how to wild out. And that's the thing, when you're talking about how many deaths he has for the team in total, and then I recently rewatched that Rengar game, and he did great things, but there were some moments that were definitely like, yeah, you're gonna die there. Yeah, just maybe change the stats a little bit, but still so much fun to watch. But this will be a fun game to watch too, because Team Liquid, they're on match point. Game number 4, Dignitas trying to hold their footing within this series to make it into the finals. They have upset so many people so far within the bracket of this tournament.
They've upset a lot of Team Liquid fans. So in one of the games early on,
all the 100 Thieves fans.
all of the 100 Thieves fans, yeah.
Really racking them up. But yeah, so getting into this game here, definitely want to look at what Bwipo is going to be doing on that Pantheon. FakeGod having that blind Jayce, but also River on the Lee Sin. Can he have that same strong decision-making as we saw when he was making his debut?
Already so much poke landing for the bottom lane here for Dig. They got Karma Q plus 2 Ezreal Qs landing onto the TL bottom lane, taking their health advantage. But again, you saw when Bwipo moved into the river early to get his ward, not able to get to the Flay there. So it means that once Flay is down, take the opportunity. There's no cooldown there for the Thresh, so they can go punish once again. But Bwipo, warding out, knows for a fact it is a bottom lane start for River. So he's got plenty of time. You can see him trying to play offensively up here and work through some of those potions.
And also, it depends how quickly River paths through here. That ward does have a duration left on it. It's going to be up for 40 more seconds, but because River is going for a very early level 3, Bwipo has total knowledge of where he's going to be.
Yeah, it's really, really effective to ward Gromp and Blue, because every single early route to get level 3 includes either Gromp or Blue, and that ward seeds both. So there you go. Thank you, observers. Both sides have done it. That's why it's so common.
That knowledge on the enemy jungler is that much more important when it's something like a Lee Sin that can be so proactive.
Yeah, the only one that is common that you would do that would avoid it would just be a full red side clear. Red Krugs and Raptors, and since they saw him transition over, they know it's going to be a reverse instead.
All right, so as we saw, River just focusing on clearing on that top side, and also curious as to how Neo is going to be able to impact the team later on into the stages of the game, being that he is so comfortable on this pick. A lot of ADCs are a little bit of a flay onto Biofrost, because Eyla being a little outranged there gets some chunk down, but look at the burn that they got onto Neo in return.
Really good trade back there, but you can see already full clear by Santorin, matching River. Hello.
River sees Santorin on the rotation, and so does FakeGod. So instead, both will back off and let it be.
And while it was top lane Scuttlecrap acquired for River, because he moved up to top side earlier with the early priority, not getting his Krugs yet. So it's going to be a full cycle for Santorin on the entire jungle and the delayed level 1 Krugs there for River, which you should be able to extrapolate since they just saw him up there. Now he's going to be back down towards the bottom side of the map, and they have to be a bit more careful.
Oh, look at this.
They got us to be a little careful. Flashes and then the flash return from Bwipo. First blood for another solo kill. Yay! We get to increase the counter.
Oh my goodness. He's kicking him into the depths of the fountain. Bottom lane's going to be a rebuttal though.
Oh god, Biofrost flashes under turret, gets some damage onto himself. So does Neo, following up on the Q. River. He's in it as well. Tags Eyla once more, but Hansama has the poke on this Varus. So flash forward. River gets Hansama and manages to make it out.
Bang bong, you dead. Hansama in the dirt. River absolutely styling on them. What? Are you kidding me? I feel like this game, I'm literally just a super fan of Bwipo and River. It is these two absolute stars.
It's kind of been the complexion of the series, right? River has run so many of the early games here, and then Bwipo has also been able to get such a big advantage for himself. We're going to watch the solo kill one more time. So a lot of times it's not super complicated. You lead with the W so you get all your auto attacks in, stacks your conquer super fast, gets the passive filled up again. I understood what FakeGod was going for there, trying to flash behind the directional immunity, but Pantheon just had the all-in advantage.
Yeah, response flash from Bwipo. FakeGod not able to get the knockback off quick enough to finish it off. Close but no cigar, and again, honestly, let's build the highlight reel. It'll be balanced. Team Liquid and Dignitas, you know, all of the Bwipo clips with all of the River clips, because that one on bottom side also deserved a replay. He did so much damage to both members. Here's the throw him up.
Are nasty.
Ooh. Bjergsen and Santorin both making their way towards the top. River is here too. FakeGod gets some time bombs on top of himself, and Bwipo with the smack down takes down the enemy top laner once again.
And the little things, you know, Bjergsen comes up with the Zilean, just cuts off his retreat. The bomb doesn't have to hit. The bomb has to cut off the escape path. One on the head, one in the ground in front of him. Can't go for it. Has to go into the waiting arms of the Gladiator. Bwipo, another one on the board. 2 kills to his name.
Lock up so strong when there's a Zilean there to escort Santorin, speed him up if need be, add a little bit of that CC. And meanwhile, TL, 500 goal lead for them right now. Starting to pretty even in the top late CS, but you do have those 2 kills on the Pantheon for Bwipo now, so he can begin mounting that lead that much more.
Meanwhile, check back in on bottom lane too. The poke wars still raging. And Neo did, of course, start with the tier. There's a debate between Ezreal players trying to start with damage or trying to start with tier to quickly stack up the tier instead. And so you don't have as much power in your early trades, but he is stacking up insanely quickly here. Should be able to convert his Muramana basically on purchase there, and you get a good double item power spike timing.
Kobe, I am going to point out,
yeah, I mean, I saw as soon as he bought the pieces, I was like, oh my god, he's making a
Hullbreaker components.
I know. As soon as you see it, you're like, oh my god, he's doing it again. He's on Pantheon, and Pantheon, has so much possibility for burst damage, but it's happening, Jatt.
It is looking like it.
Alerts everywhere. Build watch for Bwipo in the top lane. That's what we're here for.
Pantheon does, have the semi-global ult, so he's got a lot of room to traverse the map, and so the split pushing is strong there too. But man, we're gonna get another one, I guess. He wants a part 2 to the montage.
I want to describe how atypical this is. So I'm on Analytics right now, Kobe.
Yeah.
They have 13,500 Pantheon games on record. I scrolled for first item completions. It has 1 Hullbreaker on record from the 13,500 games.
Is it Bwipo?
I would love to know if that one person was Bwipo in solo queue like this past week, because I'm looking at Plat Plus.
It's because this
he loves the item.
It's because this is a burst champion. You have so much kill threat when you're going for a lot of these plays, and especially in solo queue. But Hullbreaker is a durability and a tower killing item, to its credit.
Gots to know, Bwipo. I gots to know. Were
He
you
loves
the
it.
hold breaker?
I mean, it's because he's gonna he wants to get split pushing power out of it. So,
Absolutely.
anyways, we'll see
move on.
how it plays out. Anyways, that's
You don't want to just stare at the items the entire time, Kobe. Don't look at the game itself. Just watch for the hole breaker finish. I got you. We got action coming along here. The Rift Herald being picked up. Oh,
Just used it for the move speed.
Yeah, a little bit of Swifty out there, but yeah, the Dragon's also been up for a while, and a lot of warding from Dig's side there.
That was actually really close. That was a little bit of a heist. The Dignitas bottom lane was moving up for Rift Herald, but Santorin has started it early enough, and Dig didn't have the correct vision on it, so they didn't know when it was going to die. So not only do they get the Rift Herald, they get a good reset timing for Hans Sama in bot lane on the Varus.
plus they've got the ultimate ready once again for Bwipo in the top lane. Problem is, he's dealing with extra jungle pressure, trying to allow FakeGod to push in. River hovering.
Risky.
River goes in, he
Got it.
flashes forward. The Dragon's Rage gets Bwipo to the sidelines. A flash in return, but it's not enough. Shut down for FakeGod.
Good bait by FakeGod. You know, River hovering there in the fog of war, and he makes the most of it. Goes right in onto the melee, says, please jump in, Bwipo. They do. No hesitation for River once again. This is what happens when, you know, the two stars clash in the top side, I guess. It's the River getting the last laugh this time around, but it's answered by Santorin picking up the objective for Team Liquid and still keeping it there. So that is Rift Herald and Dragon given up for the fact that the bounty was picked up off Bwipo's head. They did get the kill for Dig.
Yeah.
Snap play.
For as much talking as we've done about Bwipo's Pantheon and possible Hullbreaker, he's turned it into a gore drinker. So crisis averted. It is normal. It is not. He is
You
not
had me
that big
sold.
of a Hullbreaker enthusiast.
Yeah, as we sold, I was like, oh man, I can see it.
You
I
won
could
with
see
it.
Same components for Gore Drinker as well. He eventually got into it. I think Dig is actually in a pretty comfortable position in this game. So even though they didn't get Rift Herald, even though Bwipo got 2 kills, like what has that really gotten them so far? They need to make a big play with this Rift Herald, or I think the Viktor, Ezreal, Jayce will continue to scale.
I'm just glad you're with me here, LeTigress, so we don't have to take the Jatt red pill and go down this this scenario.
Now, if he builds another Fade and pickaxe, you know what's coming.
Blue pill all the way for the blue fans too on the side of Dignitas. I think would choose that direction. Happy about the CS that he is starting to mound down in that mid lane. But meanwhile, River still spending his time on the top side. FakeGod knowing that Bwipo is going to go for it. A tower shot will get him low. Throw in the shock blast through means that River gets the kill off of that gank. Stun up from the double time bomb onto the rotating Viktor. And blue is popped. FakeGod and River try to make their way down to offset this, but Santorin continues in pursuit. The kick back, but is not enough. Double kill for Bjergsen. Coming back to life with the ultimate here. Santorin is right and ready. Team Liquid on top in that.
Bjergsen Zilean is back online, baby. Roams up to the top side of the map multiple times. Finds the extra kill playing off the jungler. Speeds up Santorin. They also win the extended 2v2. Like Team Liquid. Team Liquid really are running this one home. And this time, it's not just, you know, Team Bwipo. This is Bjergsen on signature Zilean pick. Santorin on carry jungler getting buffed up.
And that's the big Rift Herald we wanted to see out of them as well, being able to break the final 3 plates with a Rift Herald drop. I love the fact that the gold is also going on to the Viego. That is going to be such a powerful pair going into the next 10 minutes of this game.
Santorin on the Viego, meaning that you do want to get him a bit of gold in his pocket, get those initial kills off so he can feel comfortable, and the gold swinging in that direction as well.
Yeah. The play here by Bwipo was definitely a little bit of plate greed, and he didn't have as much jungle cover as you would want to make a play like this. So definitely trying to push the tempo on them. But as Blue was also roaming up to help, that's where the jungle is able to catch him out, and it's just a double bomb into a nice flash stun into dead.
And I think the coolest part of that is that it's so hard for Zileans to hit double bombs like that when you're chasing someone. And the speed up on him, on himself to be able to get into position for it. Then, of course, you know, up the river, they know they can win the 2v2 because he's got revived. And so Santorin can play super aggro, but speeding up and be able to land both those bombs when you're chasing down someone is the impressive part for the Zilean pick there, cleaning up the kill and allowing the double.
just how speedy that Bjergsen can go to join Santorin with that time warp. You always have to worry about him being a threat, and it feels like if you see a jungler around, the mid could be right there with him, and Bjergsen knows how to execute on that very well. But over on the bot side, you see the pings coming out. River spent a lot of time over towards top. A full minute going until that dragon spawns up, so it makes sense to want to establish some of the vision down here as well.
Yeah, huge vision control coming in from Santorin. That's the third control ward TL has cleared in the last about 30 seconds, so heavily prioritizing the setup for that Hextech Drake.
And now that they've taken down top side turret, objective number 1 for the top triangle focus of this, solo laners plus jungle combination for Team Liquid, where they put so many resources and so much focus for them. Goal achieved. Now, since you've able to take down top side turret, you can push in for the Pantheon for Bwipo to get the real effect of the champion through the rest of the plays here. We talked about warding up deep in the jungle and then joining the rest of the team with the ultimate. River's on vision.
Oh, and he gets caught out. That's the lockup from the time bombs. Kicks away Santorin, and even that burn, he's still healthy enough to come through. Blue has rotated, manages to get the lockup with the gravity, but Santorin's still in pursuit. That's a time warp to speed him up to get in range of the Heartbreaker. And Bwipo finally makes his impact elsewhere on the map. The Grand Starfall for the entrance, and the grand kill for Team Liquid.
Right in the hands of Team Liquid. They were just at the point where they wanted to make a top lane play from Bwipo, and they're going deeper.
Santorin's still here too! The arcane shift away doesn't create enough distance, and meanwhile, Team Liquid continue that domination.
They are running the map right now. Yes, they are giving away a lot of turret damage to Jayce top lane, but that is a very favorable trade nonetheless, as they clean up pretty much everyone on Dig on the bot side and turn for Drake.
One of the first small mistakes we have seen River make, going up into the river without the sweeper on that ward and being punished by Team Liquid. That being said, it was still only due to the Zilean Bjergsen speed up there that they were able to chase him out and speeds up Santorin to go get the extra kill here. Him actually getting the kill credit and getting some of the money, quite nice for them, and along with that dragon stacking. This game, yes, the series has been so enjoyable. Dig at so many points, have been able to fight back and push Team Liquid extremely far. But this one seems like it is a lot of control opening up here towards mid-game.
Yeah, as long as TL can keep these skirmishes like 2v2 and 3v3 with how potent TLs like Zilean, Viego, Pantheon combos are. If it's a 5v5 though, I think Dig has a good chance of fighting back.
Oh, look at that heavy hit that FakeGod was able to offer from the back line. Stun lands onto River just to make sure that they can't get any of the final poke onto the low members of Team Liquid.
And again, as we kind of cautioned and highlighted from Champ Select, one of the difficult things for Zilean teams is long range. So if you can land the poke, in addition to grouping and being able to 5v5 and rely on your Karma speed up for disengage, if you can hit those skill shots, Ezreal, Karma, Jayce, Viktor laser, all extremely long range, chunk people out, even getting out Zilean ultimate cooldowns early on can allow you to get back into the game, get some objectives like that. And they cash in on one. This is my personal favorite from the losing side objective. And here we go for the engage attempt.
Dragon's Rage to get Hansama out of it. River has to make sure he doesn't stand near his teammates because of the time bomb on him. Neo capturing one as well. Has to back off. So even though you have to worry about that range, you got to worry about them bombs.
You definitely have to continually worry about the bombs. I will say though, to me, this is the most overtuned of the objective bounties. It's the second Rift failed. Here's another bomb. Biofrost is just dead. Man, I just want to talk about bounties for 1 second.
Too bad, Kobe. They're winning by too much.
Nah, no bounties. Just bursting down to Biofrost. Team Liquid effectively getting all the outskirt turrets down, and with a little bit of a wave at their reckoning, they can get some chunks onto this tier 2 as well.
As long as they can have these skirmishy type fights, it's so much damage. They get the cleanse odds.
Neo.
Okay.
Sure shot barrage just to throw it out towards Eyla.
Kobe, what were you saying about that Rift Herald?
I feel like I've been put on timeout by the teams. Another objective bounty picked up. I think the second Rift Herald one is the most overtuned because they set it at the same 500 gold that the Dragon or like a Baron objective is, and yet there's such so much lower of a value. Second Rift Herald is one of the lowest value of the neutral objectives that you ever have on the map. But it has a very big bounty on it, so I like the call from Dig. This is why I do in solo queue too, because people kind of ignore it a lot of times. They just try and rush that down for a big, 500 base, and can be increased if you're super far behind. Gold bounty to cash in on, and then they also got effectiveness out of the bottom side bounty. So this is the main new strat for us when,
this could be
when
a
teams
third
are getting
bounty.
crushed. Talking about bounties, if you rack up all of them like this before it gets turned off, they're getting some value.
Yep. Chunking down from a 4K gold lead to 3.3 immediately off of that bounty take on the top side. So Dignitas finding their advantages that they can capitalize upon here, but Team Liquid, I mean, you just have to worry so much about their lockup. That seems like the most difficult thing for Neo, narrowly escaping in moments. And as that burst gets that much stronger in the later portions of the game, a single hit will be your downfall.
Yeah, and even though Team Liquid is very strong right now, you can see Man Immune completed by Hansama. That'll soon turn into Muramana. They got big bounties on Viego, Zilean. If they don't kind of cleanly pick up these next two Drakes, the game will become dangerous for them, because the poke is going to be very huge from Jayce, Viktor, Ezreal, as we're setting up to get later and later in the game. So it's important that TL continue to accelerate.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, as you say, the Ezreal's Muramana just transformed. So that is the difference I was talking about with the Ezreal choices of starting either the tier or like longsword pots and stuff like that. You get, it's basically the later purchased Varus option with the tier was at like 150 or something.
All right.
Oh, because there's a Santorin over the wall right now. Blue no longer alone in that matchup. The jungler claims the prize.
That's a really nice setup for Drake.
Yep.
Blue could technically be able to teleport in, but there's almost no way that Dignitas is going to have any type of control in that area, and it's just a really nice play there by Bjergsen Santorin.
Yeah, he's got his Everfrost, his Seraphs is completed, so he's getting the ability haste for it as well. It's getting so annoying since they changed that item. A lot of champions were sad that the stats were changed, but here's the teleport flank.
Bjergsen is here off of that teleport. Santorin goes in.
Oh, he missed the ult.
Coming through with a grand starfall, manages to get the pop onto Neo, and now FakeGod backing off as well. Throws out a Q for some additional damage, but he's on the retreat. Biofrost, the next target from that vault. Bwipo knows exactly who he should be focusing on, and River chunked all the way over towards the mid lane.
Bjergsen gets his first kill onto Biofrost as well.
Oh, true!
Yes, the test was trying to crack that one.
I love my old friend.
Yeah, Bjergsen did miss the ult onto Santorin, which gives over a bit of a bounty, but because they won that fight so handily, they are able to cleanly get to Soul Point.
And you want to look at the replay to see if it was range or actually timing, because they were collapsing on it and could have been range there as he was moving over. But still, the amount of ability haste that you have on this Zilean build. So let's see. As he's going in from one side, Bjergsen had just teleported, trying to get over there in time to get in range of it. He gets bursted out so quickly, but the amount of control you have. Look at this ability haste. Double bombs with the slowdown, but then the rewind and immediately has another slowdown, and so they still get Biofrost with it, tracking him down there. That plus the Everfrost, there's just so much control in the Zilean pick, as well as the revive mechanic.
Yeah, so he's at 90 ability haste right now, which would be the old equivalent of 47% CDR. Definitely able to have his cooldowns come up pretty quick.
He's on Zilean. He can tell the future. He knew he was going to kill Biofrost, and he made it happen.
It only took until game 4.
Game 4. Oh my goodness. It's just great to see, though, how strong he is in that target selection to make it for the rest of the team to be able to follow up. We would say, oh, you got somebody locked over here? I'm just going to hop right on them. That's okay, my friends. And Dignitas having some difficulty in finding a way to prevent that from happening when they get locked in the jungle with just a lot of the avenues of escape being taken away from them. And as we mentioned before, that soul was secured. Oh, but there's another starfall for Bwipo to find FakeGod. Tries to leap on out of it. Where are you gonna go? This bush? That bush? This cove? Your grave? Over in the mid lane, though, Eyla flashing away to deal as much space as he can between himself and River. So no follow-up intended here.
What's the lore on Pantheon? Is he a real god? Is that like the god of war? Pretty close there, because he has had FakeGod's number all series long.
No matter
Finds a
where
pick
he is.
off.
Always. He just finds him. He say, you go all the way to the other side of the map. I'll join you there, buddy. You're my new best friend. The friend that he did not ask for.
Really want to just get any pick they can.
Hanzama flashes away. River throws the ward down. Comes on through with a Q. Last cone, Biofrost is going for the lockdown with the tether, and as soon as that lock happens, there's no escape from there. Santorin on the opposite end gets pushed back, and the root coming over the wall to join Bwipo and the rest of the squad. River a bit deep right now. Safeguard to hop back over towards Neo. And now Bjergsen speeding his way to join the rest of the team over in the mid lane.
I really love that force by Dignitas. That's the type of scrappy fight that actually had the opportunity to get them right back in the game. Very close to being able to pick up more kills. They get the Zilean ult down. They get both summoners out of Hanzama. Those summoner spells won't be up for the Infernal Dragon fight, which I think is a must-win for Dignitas. If they give over Infernal Soul to a Varus poke, that's probably game. But now that they have no flash on Bjergsen and no flash on Hanzama, it does give them a fighting chance if they can get another flank opportunity.
And no cooldown on Zilean's abilities with the Cosmic Drive, 120 ability haste.
55% CDR, yeah. So the base cooldown of Time Bomb is 3.6 seconds. So like, think about like double bombs. You can double bomb and then 3 seconds later, you get the third.
World first quadruple.
That's just absolutely gnarly. Thinking about the way that kit is already built to be able to get that nice feeling of getting all your cooldowns as low as possible, and the way he's building, ensuring that is exactly what he's going for within this game. But 4.5k gold lead still just hovering right there for Team Liquid, and they still have over a minute right now to set up for that next Drake. Still keeping our eyes on the sums that are down with those flashes unavailable, but Bwipos should come up in just a soon time.
Challenge for Bjergsen. I want to see him get 2 revives off in the same fight. Should be able to do it. Bonus points if it's on the same person.
The fight only has to be 27.25 seconds long. That's his current cooldown for his ult.
It's possible. I believe. Definitely think it could be a thing. But one thing is for sure, with that clock winding down on the Dragon, Team Liquid are the ones
That's without
who have too much fun being out here.
We'll see the poke that Dig can get down here, though. This is an incredibly pivotal moment in the game.
Oh, coming on through. Bwipo has arrived, leaps on forward with the vault. Again, Blue is the target, but River is here for the safeguard, kicks him back with the Dragon's Rage into the rest of the fight. Biofrost flashes over on one side. Meanwhile, FakeGod, the target of Santorin, getting him down with the Heartbreaker, and Dignitas have to go into the jungle.
Bwipo does fall down without Bjergsen being in range for the ultimate, but that is enough health taken away from Dig that I think TL should be able to get this Infernal Drake without a contest.
Yeah, all of Dig right now just having to back, except for Biofrost, who had died previously, making his way towards the mid lane for clear.
Yep, that is going to be a soul for Team Liquid. There's no Ezreal ultimate available. Their only hope at attempting a steal there. So Infernal Soul picked up. More burst damage means more fun. Haha! Bit of a...
Teleports. Ceiling.
Yeah. Bjergsen using the teleport over towards top. Just moments ago, we saw the pings coming through around this Baron side. Dignitas have vision established around it. Everyone was too low to really be able to follow up and try and make a play around there during the previous time around. But with that being the main neutral objective at play, with Elder not spawning for another 5.5 minutes, you want to make sure you have some kind of security of this portion of Summoner's Rifts.
It is so frustrating to play against even a slightly above average Zilean. And we get to live in this world where we're again seeing Bjergsen back on the Rift, playing what feels like pretty premier, Bjergsen Zilean level.
Yeah.
Dignitas are again going to have to approach this. We laid out some options early on where we're like, okay, maybe you could snipe, poke someone, really focus fire, get the cooldown out early, or maybe they're separated. But again, that 27-second cooldown on his ultimate was without rewind. That's going to take off 10 more seconds. So like, even if you burn that cooldown, it's going to be up so quickly. It's insane.
Yeah, and I will say that...
Oh, basic ability. Just kidding.
Yeah, the rewind will refresh the other abilities, as it used to be that way with a really long ultimate cooldown chrono shift. As much as TL is dominating, there's still a window for Dig to come back. It might close if they can actually kill River here.
River tried to connect with the Q, got hooked. Starfall coming in. Bwipo dishes a lot to Blue. River also chunked down.
Oh, here comes
Bjergsen,
Zilean.
nice and speedy over on the opposite side. The time bomb's not quite going to connect there. Enough of an escapability from Dignitas, but the rest of Team Liquid can back off in unison.
Getting another nice chunk will allow them to probably be able to get this Baron, and then they still do have to accelerate the game. It's looking pretty good for Team Liquid here.
Looking good with them eyes on the Baron. True shot barrage slices through a couple members and gives some intel over to Dignitas that this is
Good
committed. Eyla hooks on and follows up for Team Liquid to secure themselves that Red Bull Baron.
Little bonus on the way back to base with your Baron empowered recalls and your Dragon Soul already picked up. All right, with Neo already down, right back out to pushing. This is Team Liquid's victory march. What a series. This last game, definitely their best executed as a team as well, with everybody really contributing. Bwipo wastes no time, though, getting right back out on the map to push it in.
We've definitely seen a back and forth in this series. Team Liquid had, I think, an early game advantage in game 1, but the scaling of Dignitas took over. Team Liquid actually had pretty weak early games in 2 and 3, but one was scaling. If they can close out with the Pantheon Zilean higher execution barrier team comp, it would be a good sign for them. That's not the type of play you want on a victory march.
Not quite. The subject of too many eyes on the side of Dignitas. The rest of Team Liquid is here, though, and they'll continue to follow through with that wave. River just continually getting poked down so that he can't actually stay long enough to try and offset this push. Baron empowered minions at the ready. A cannon one in this wave as well. Just look at that burst down that Team Liquid have at their disposal to take this inhibitor turret.
Yeah, even with Bwipo in the fountain with no teleport, still can push it all the way through. Good job, I would say, though, by Dig. They're always looking to try and fight their way back in, pushing him under tower, getting around the immunity, hitting from the other side, finishing off at least a kill for themselves.
You know, I was just thinking about the fact that I've only played Zilean and ARAMs, and watching him and how fast he's able to bring stuff up makes it feel like an ARAM, how they have that additional cooldown.
It's like a little overwhelming as well, which is why it's such a hard champion to pick up when you have to... All your abilities are kind of up all the time. So it's just, it takes a lot of experience, and Bjergsen is the one who consistently is able to execute.
Seeing if he and the rest of the team can pull through a victory in what has been a very Team Liquid strong game. And we talk about the comfort pick that Bjergsen has on the Zilean. We've also seen Eyla on the Thresh being so comfortable as well. A lot of the hooks onto River so that he can't actually have an impact once the engage begins.
Yeah, it's been such a calm series, actually, for the TL bottom lane, since there's so much focus around this top triangle. You know, that's where so much of the action has been. And you can see it in the kill participation as well. Only 2 assists down there for the bottom laner. But Baron buff pushes in. Pantheon ults over just in case anybody steps out of line.
Sometimes you just gotta make that face at him, and Bwipo has no problem doing that. You can see some of the damage that the side of Dignitas can output, just really chunking down onto Eyla's health bar right there. But he just stands behind the rest in the wave that they've got through. No more Baron buff here, so it's just a standard push from them, but they've all come through effectively.
Yeah, just making sure they go slow and steady. As long as they don't get a huge Lee Sin kick into a bunch of bursts landing at once, it's very difficult for Team Liquid to lose a fight. Just try and use this Infernal Soul with the Varus and Zilean poke as much as possible. And with Elder coming up in 20 seconds, this would be the last-ditch effort for Dignitas. We mentioned how they keep trying to fight their way back into the game. At least they have a little bit of position, and River is trying to just hide in a spot where they can't find him. It's a last-ditch effort.
Yeah, and that's exactly the strategy you have to go for when you're 7.6 thousand gold behind. FakeGod gets slowed down. I don't think...
He can't move.
He can't. Look how slowly gets put in slow motion as things speed up onto River, who again just stopped in his tracks. Team Liquid, while Dignitas were the first into the river to get some kind of established vision, it's Team Liquid that pushed them back. Now the Elder in their sights.
All right, River, make the miracle happen. It's up to you, buddy.
It's your last chance to make a stand right here, but even with Dig on the outskirts, everybody on Team Liquid, they just send Santorin and Eyla into that back line. Blue chunked down. Theo taken out of it. 3 eliminated from Dignitas. Santorin hopping onto Biofrost. River hopped on by Bjergsen. And that, my friends, will soon be the Bud Light ace achieved by Team Liquid.
Great call there from Team Liquid. They aren't going to let him take a chance at a flip. They go for the kills, jumping over the back of the wall. Congratulations, TL, on your final spot.
7-0-6, a vintage Bjergsen Zilean game, and back-to-back lock-in finals for Team Liquid, this time without Core JJ, so using Eyla from the Academy team. As you said, Kobe, congratulations to TL.
Ooh, lad. TL deflate the wheels of the party bus, send it over to the garage, and make their way into the lock-in finals. The second timing, they have 100% presence rate within the finals themselves. Good on them.
Such a fun series to watch at that, too. Not sticking to, pure standard play on both sides. So much proactive, gameplay from actually both of them. Really good plays on both sides. We had, River making so many, stars plays for the side of Dignitas. The team coming together in a lot of opportunities. Bwipo doing some one-man heroics as well. It was quite a journey. Definitely enjoyable semis.
Yeah, I do like the way the series ended up progressing, because I think you could look at just the first 3 games and you'd see this very passive Team Liquid, right? Like, they're not really doing anything unless Bwipo is finding the creative plays to let them win. But with this last game, I think it is definitely more encouraging. That's where Bjergsen and Santorin were able to get a lot more involved. Like, they were the ones really accelerating the pace of this game, and I think that'll give them some confidence going into the finals on Sunday.
Team Liquid has been the squad where we talk about all of the talent that they have, right? Yes, they have the rotating roster and many people at their disposal, but that comes into play when it's down to the wire and you're in a best of series and you need those multiple avenues to find win conditions. And the fact that the 2 standing players, Santorin and Bjergsen, they ain't rotating out. They're playing every game, and they're such a consistent force for the squad.
They really are, and I have to give a congratulations to Eyla as well, right? He filled in for the entire 4 games.
Yeah.
Right? They've been swapping between Jan, Bradley, all the different iterations, and this is the one they chose to go for Dignitas. So congrats to him for filling some big Core JJ shoes and still coming out with the series victory.
We will see Dignitas throughout the LCS season, I'm sure, take their learnings from this and apply it further. But Team Liquid, they do take the series and that spot in the lock-in final.